I get messages sometimes on social media from people that say, oh, like, will you listen to my music? Will you, like, tell me what you think about this? Tell me what you think. I'm just starting out. I'm trying to make, beats, or I'm trying to make pop. Like, what do you think? And I don't think. I think you should tell me what you think before hinging your opinion on your own art off somebody that you just found on the internet that has a certain amount of followers or a certain amount of plays, or because really I'm a nobody. But people find, someone that they think is more successful, and you choose the path of jealousy, or you choose the path of camaraderie, or you choose the neutral path of ignoring them. But hey man, look, what do you think about this beat? I made this beat. What do you think? What do you think? Is it a good beat? I mean, it's so much more powerful to present something as, I made this, I'm proud of it, here it is, check it out. When you detract from what you are already bringing from the table by asking me to put an opinion on it, it's just, and it doesn't even matter if it's just some loops or some silly drum pattern, or a hook, or just a chant or whatever. It has to come from a place of honesty, and you're looking out and you're trying to make music, but you're trying to make music because you want a desire. And I'm just as guilty of this. I'm still guilty of this. I'm still dealing with this every day. But having a desire that is put into my head by the world, and by, really, capitalist agendas for making money off of substances and media. And as artists, we fall into that when we try to actually make this sustainable, and it becomes a total trap of either trying to copy someone else's work that is successful, that may not have been successful for any other reason, and they were just in the right place at the right time, or just people who never become original and don't invest any amount of energy or passion into their craft, and just see it as a business and a money opportunity. There's whole industries devoted to churning out pop stars and churning out internet personalities. There's schools. But at the end of the day, what do you really have to look back on? We're all the same. And so if you are an artist and you're choosing that path, I think it's really important that you take time to look inside yourself and say, why am I doing this? What am I doing? Why? What is my song? Because if you're a musician, I'm really speaking to musicians, because that's my medium, but you write songs. What is your song? How do you present that from a place of pure originality? And because that's really where the magic comes from, creating something out of nothing, taking it from your thoughts or your dreams or your emotions, and not just painting that directly onto silly rhymes, but using metaphors and crafting lines and callbacks and entire worlds that you couldn't even begin to explain. But it's hard because you never really want someone to know everything about it, but you still want them to listen to it. You should want them to listen to it, and you should be proud of it. You should be proud of your work. You should look back on it and want to do better, but you should realize that at that time you did the best that you could, and that's really important. The title of this video is called Awakening the Artist Within, which is kind of heady and esoteric, but I don't really care. I've been getting into a lot of that shit recently, and it's really helped me on my path, and I really want to just put all this out there as kind of like a journal, and I've just been spending a lot more time thinking about what it means to make art and make music, and less and less about how to make money off of it, because that is such a fool's errand. You lose all soul. Just goes. So like, where does that come from? Where does that spark? Where does that, if you are someone that's stuck making the same kind of music, or you just use pre-fabricated drag and drop sort of playbook loops and things, how do you break free from that? Well, you have to think about what you were hearing in the first place that made you want to create those and make it from nothing. And it might take longer and it might be harder, but it is worth it. I promise it's worth it, because you stand on that. That's your work, and you can stand on that. You can't stand on something that someone else made. You can't go to bed at night and say, well, that song that everyone likes, that is crazy on TikTok, is super great, but I can't wait. I really hope they don't find out that it's a loop that 10, 15 other people have also used or whatever. I don't actually know how that works. I know that that's a whole kind of side of beat making. I've never wanted to even attempt to get into that, because it just is stupid. It's not why I make music. It's not what I'm interested in. But for the people that are stuck in that, like, digital regurgitative kind of process, and want to take that next step into original work, I think it is just really important to listen to your influences, listen to the people that have come before who have done things that you've respected, even if you don't agree with their opinions. There are a lot of people that have put in a lot of time and work into just things that we enjoy as entertainment to just listen to while you jog, and it's only there because it was so evocative that it created a a storm of attention that, you know, rippled out into a bunch of different areas of life and countries. But my point is that even if you're sampling, even if you're you know, using a rhyme scheme or a frame of a picture, if you're taking a picture and you're a photographer, if you're using the same sort of image or whatever, like the composition of another person's work, like to find what was in that other work that you feel drawn towards, and then try to find what you connect with your own true self to that. And you'll find that it's probably not what you were wanting to do exactly, but you can still find a way to present that through your own original work. There are things, you know, colors, drum kits, different guitars. These are things that we all have. A Fender Stratocaster, you know, a French easel, a Canon camera. They're just tools, and, you know, everyone can use them. And, you know, back to the people that messaged, hey, what do you think about this beat? You know, it wasn't so good, man. Maybe you need to work on these EQ, like, pretty good vibe. Like, I like the groove, but, like, the instruments are kind of, you know, smushed together. Oh, well, what do you use? What do you use? What kind of equipment do you use? Well, irrelevant, man. Like, if that's not, you're missing the point. You need to go back to what really you're doing, and if you really want to be doing this for the right reasons, if it's truly your path, because study those drum patterns, you know, recreate that loop that you found on YouTube. Make something that sounds like that as an influence. Try something that I've done before is you put on a song on your headphones on Spotify, and then on your recording equipment, while you're listening to that song, just play along with it, whether it's on a keyboard or whether it's on a drum kit or something, and play along with it and just record, you know, make a loop of yourself playing a drum kit, just grooving along. If you can even use the keyboard to type. That's how I started making beats. And play along, recreate the pattern, but you do it. Because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the point of art is not the product, it's the process. You find yourself in the process. You don't find yourself in the result. It's the art is the friends we made along the way. Maybe that's the title of this video. But it's just, you have to do it from you, and you have to find it in yourself first. And if you are really meant to do it, you'll find the truth in it, which isn't using other people's work or relying on other people's opinion or not being confident in your process. And if you're not confident in your process, it might be because your process isn't worth being confident in, and you need to work on your basics. Playing guitar is very easy. It's very easy. You can put a guitar in open tuning and play with one finger all day long. You learn rhythm, you learn right, left hand, brain coordination. It's the best. It's not. I dislike guitar. I think it's an oversaturated use, but it's a great way for someone that wants to sing or take another level with their producing to really try to find out where the music comes from within them. And that's the whole point, because when it's all done, when it's all gone, what do you have left but things that you can recreate from nothing? At least that's like my kind of idea with art and what the point is. I'm sure some people will disagree. But finding that fire and finding that reason, and let other people tell you what they think. You don't have to ask for their opinion. I think you'll find that the less you seek other people's affirmations, the more you actually get it, and the more powerful their affirmations are. So do it for yourself first, never for anybody else. You have to like it. You have to want to hear it or look at it or do it every single second of every day. Yeah, I do. I do. And I think when you get to a certain level, you find, or I find, not the third person, I really don't know you, but I find that I end up treating other people and other art in higher regard than I do my own, which is incredibly counterintuitive to the idea of being any sort of successful musician or pop star or anything like that, because you're usually known as a cocky bastard. But I still find myself comparing and being jealous and looking at other more successful artists' work and saying, man, I could never do that. That's so good. But you have to internalize that and apply that to your own work, because it is. If it is, it is. If it's not, that's fine. You can keep going and do better if you're meant to. I feel like I'm meant to. But if it is good, then acknowledge that and be proud and say, I'm doing my fucking best. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm singing my heart out. Or, playing my heart out, or dancing my heart out, or taking the hell out of these pictures. Duende is an interesting concept. I'll maybe leave that for another video. But to leave it all on the table, to finish something and know that at the end of it you could be done. That could be the last thing you ever did. So we have to find that. I'm still searching for it all the time. And I hope you also find the artist inside you that wants to go on that journey.